Chaos, craziness. I don't even know how you describe today at the Oval Office. It was something, probably the best way to describe it. It started with Trump greeting Zelensky and saying, I see you got dressed up for this. And it went from there to what became one of the most surreal things I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of stuff. It's, there's so many things you can say in life. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Sometimes it's where you say it. I don't think you should do diplomacy like that in front of the world. And as I said to several people and through several shows today, I'm not saying what Trump said was wrong, because I don't think it is. I think this was as much about a message, not so much for Zelensky as it was for the rest of the world and Europe as well. This is your backyard. You guys need to pay some damn attention. This is your backyard. And yes, I do think some of it was personal. There's no doubt about that. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind some of this stuff was personal. 100%. But I will tell you, I don't know where they go from here. I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you where you go from there. He actually, from what I understand, ordered Zelensky to leave the White House. So they didn't do a joint press conference. And it was explosive. And it was a dressing down. But, and I continue to say this, some of this was not for Zelensky. Although he could not help himself. My God, dude, just shut up. Say thank you. Just get on with it. Shut up. Period. Case closed. If you didn't see of it, here you go. Boy, what a day.
It's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start.
Now, one thing I'm going to say right here is you're watching this. You watch Trump, you watch his face. He is looking for a reason. He's looking for something. And again, this started out with a little joke about the dress at the beginning of it. You didn't dress up for this when they got out of the car. And it seemed to be going okay. And then it kind of went sideways. And I think at some point in time, Trump was just ready to, I'm ready to do it. And he went and did it. So watch Trump, because he goes from orange to red really, really fast.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this.
I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. It's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
even
entire
today.
meeting, you said thank
even
you.
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
So that's how it started to roll, and didn't get any better from there. And I'm not saying Trump was wrong in any of this, because I think as I was talking to people earlier today, look, he doesn't want to give up any land. That's fine. Doesn't mean America has to fund this at some point in time. Do I think that Russia is absolutely responsible for invading? Yes. Do I think that we and the West played a role in a few of these things by the fact that, I go back to this. We didn't like the Soviets hanging out in Cuba. Why should the Russians be stoked that we were playing footsie with Ukraine, even though they were playing a little bit more footsie with us? And I'm talking about NATO. But that being said, this diplomacy right here, this moment, that is a tough thing to do in front of the world. And it was not pretty for Ukraine. It was not pretty for Zelensky. It was one of those cringeworthy moments. You ever watch a movie and you're sitting there and something's happening to somebody and you see it and it's cringy and you don't want it to be, and I can't look away, but I got to pay it. That's kind of what I felt like there. And of course, Europe's freaking out, but this is also a message to Europe. This is your backyard. You need to pay some damn attention. You need to pay attention to what's going on. You like your free health care? You know the best health care in the world is for you guys? It's the fact that our military is so kick-ass that we can really, protect you from a lot of other things so you can forego paying for a lot of crap that we pay for so you can enjoy all of your great safety nets. So now maybe you're going to have to pony up a little bit because this is your backyard. Do I want to see any more people die? I don't. Putin needs an off-ramp, and he's celebrating tonight. Don't get me wrong. He is celebrating. He's playing this thing over and over again. He's probably out there right now going, just keep it going. Keep it going. It's great. Just play it over and over again. And the loudspeakers, just celebrate. Trump loves me. Whatever. But now the question is, where does everybody go from here? Because having disagreements, yelling and shouting, that happens. It does. It's where it happened that I think was an issue. But this was as much about sending a message. That message was not going to be heard behind closed doors. How's the media reacting? The same way the media reacts in so many of these things.
I want to start with, look at her face. I mean, Christian, hold that thought for once. Okay, actually, Christian, please, take it away.
Never in the history of modern diplomacy, war, peace, whatever, have I ever seen anything like it.
Ever? You've never seen anything like? No, you haven't. Because it's never happened. You've never had anybody like the guy that is current president of the United States. And today he sent a message to Zelensky, yes, to the rest of Europe, that the free ride is over and nothing that is going to change your mind outside of you putting up some stuff. And that obviously was the mineral deal, which didn't happen. So where does it go from here? I think that's a fair question because the relationship, and again, I say this personal, absolutely. And I think Trump also looks at Zelensky and says, you know what, Obama, he gave you blankets. I gave you javelins. I think that's a big deal. He and everybody else, they all think of you as a mega hero and all of these kind of things. But it was odd that while they're celebrating you when I was president, Putin didn't attack. Why is that? Fair questions to ask. I think there's a certain sense of, I've got dragged through the coals. I've had all this crap happen to me. And yet here I am. And now you're here. And he did not do himself any favors today. Let's be honest. He didn't. He looked a fool at times. He looked frustrated. And you just kept saying, dude, shut your mouth. Just smile. And take it behind closed doors. And I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Zelensky. You go from there to
remember, this is not the second month of Trump's tenure. This is the 50th month of his 2-year term. And this is the point when somebody does 180 degrees from understanding American allies to backing America's adversaries that you resign.
You're saying Marco Rubio should resign?
and Mike Waltz, this is really the time to do it. If they don't get out now, I think their reputations will suffer for a long, long time. And that would be sad, because their record in believing in a strong American national security policy has been very good up until now.
Here's something about Bolton. Last time I checked, the guy's a war hawk. He never saw a place he didn't want to invade. Even Trump, talked about how he scared the crap out of people. Like, I don't want to invade you, but that guy behind me, he may want to do it. He's the kind of guy to do it. It was a day that was different. And depending on what side of the aisle you're on, and we don't do nuance anymore, depending what side of the aisle you're on, you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, this is the greatest day ever because America's back and it's MAGA, MAGA, MAGA and America first. Or if you're on the left side of the aisle, you're in horror. This is, oh my God, we just gave Putin everything he wanted. Putin doesn't have everything, but Putin's going to get land. That was always going to happen. It was never, ever something that I think we could sit there and go, well, they're going to be able to take back the land they lost. That was never going to happen. This was always land for peace. Always land for peace. Putin needs an off-ramp. Trump gave it to him. Well, why is he so cozy with him? Well, last time I checked, he's the one with the nuclear weapons. So let's get this thing sorted out. Or Europe, you can handle your own business, which I have no problem with. You guys want to fight forever? Knock your shit out. Do it. Fight forever. But I don't think we should have to pay for it. I think most of you agree. Whether you listen to me on the radio, you see me all the other places, I think most of you guys agree we don't want to pay for it forever. So now is the time where we sit back and say, all right, what's done is done. Now, do people behind the scenes try to figure something out? Or does he go home, hat in hand? And did this help spur the Europeans to go, fine, we don't need America. We'll forego it, and we'll handle this business on our own. Great. Or does he come back to the table and say, fine, what do you want? Minerals? Okay, but we do want some guarantees. And I said that today. If I'm Zelensky, I had no chance in hell, I would, for a second, take a deal where I give you in perpetuity minerals from my country with no guarantee that you're going to step up to the plate should he do something again. You can't do that. That's like saying to a bully who beats up somebody for lunch money, hey, you kicked that guy's butt for lunch money? Well, that sucks. Hold on a second. Hey, give me half of your money forever. And we'll get this thing sorted out. And then the guy goes, okay, great. So if he fights me again, you're going to jump in? No, I didn't say that. No, so I wouldn't do that deal. But everything's a negotiation. And today it got serious. Is it going to speed it up? It's going to speed it up some way. Either a deal's going to get done sooner or later with us driving it, or they're going to forgo it and they're going to go do their own thing. Either way, it's time for us to move on from this. There's no doubt about it. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have a good and amazing night and weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow along across all my stuff. You go to Chad Benson Show TV and YouTube. If you're watching it there, like and subscribe. I appreciate it when you do that. And check out the Instagram, Facebook, and everything else at Chad Benson Show. You guys have a great night and an awesome weekend. And we will do it again next week. And who knows what chaos and craziness will ensue.